the Metro, and someone's been invited to the Palace, and we know which question will not be asked, Francis.
Yes, so Charles has invited Ngozi Fulani to Buckingham Palace after the race row that engulfed the papers and seemingly the media last week. So the King and Queen have invited the charity boss to come back in, and to me, this was a story about absolutely nothing. And I couldn't believe when there's so much happening in this country. There is so many things. There's so many people struggling. There's a war in Ukraine, and we are obsessing about essentially an old woman being not particularly tactful and being a little bit rude and brusque to a black woman. And that was it. That was it. And she was and that's all it was. And we obsessed about it to the point of nausea. It's ridiculous to me.
But I think people are obsessed about it because there was actual passion about this story. Like, radio's been full of phones.
Yeah,
the phones haven't been quiet.
I think it's quite a big deal, to be fair. And the issue is with the royal family being institutionally racist. And, of course, you've got the stuff with Meghan. I've got my own opinions on Meghan. We might come to that later. But I think it's quite a big story because it's rude, it's disingenuous. There's so much about it. And I think she's right to bring it up, and it does so that there's... I know it's an age thing, people say, they're older people, you've got to give them a bit of leeway, but should know better.
It can't just be about the rudeness, though, because loads of people are rude. Like, everyone I've
this is something ingrained, and I actually think this is quite a big story. There's some other issues around this story that are quite interesting as well, but, I think it's...
Yeah, do you know, there's loads of... The problem with this story, there's loads of nuance on any part of it, but the bit that struck me is if you are saying really implies that you've just not told the truth. If I ask you a question, they ask you the same question with the word really put in.
No, I think it's very heavily laced in where are you really from, and this woman's born here, she's British, and this conversation insinuates that she's not, and that's really disrespectful, and it's offensive.
Let's test it. Francis, where are you from?
Do you want to actually know? Well, my mother's from Venezuela. My dad's from Wigan.
Is that for real?
Yeah, that's for real, mate. That's for real. And for some peculiar reason, I came out looking Jewish. But anyway, there we go. But no, so actually, and my mother's roots from Venezuela. But everybody in Venezuela is very genetically mixed. So I've got like part South American native and also Arabs from Lebanon and Tripoli. So that's where I'm from.
Did you do an actual 23andMe type test?
No, that's just my family history, mate. Yeah, that is my family.
I'd love that. I'd love that. Lucky you, mate. I'd love a bit of that.
Is that because I'd love, imagine the jokes you could get away with?
I'm serious when there is that. No, I don't think that's great. We did one of those tests, and it was all around London, except for there was one little dot in Somerset.
Yeah. Oh, exotic.
Yeah, Somerset.
but
I like cider. It could be that.
There you go. It's all genetic. But this, to me, is like... like people were always asking my mum like where she was from, because like we get people round to the house, workmen, and like they'd say to mum, "Well, where are you from? Are you Italian? Are you Spanish? Are you where are you from?" And she'd say Venezuela, and because it was the 80s, no one would knew Venezuela is, right? They'd be like, "Is that Africa?" Right? And I don't see the offence behind it. It's because I look at this woman. She's 83 years old. She's being tactless. She's not being especially polite. I guess the way I was just raised was sometimes older people can be a bit tactless and they can say the wrong thing and they can phrase it in the wrong way, but they're your elders. That's Latin culture, and you should just respect them and go, look, it's fine.
We might do a side debate about whether that's ageist or not, but sadly we don't have time.